slender Frida, who even before the boat often forgot to eat. Pearl has never forgotten to eat in her life. During the worst of the Great War and then the Revolution and war with Poland after, her hunger was so raw it addled her thoughts, gnawed at her stomach lining. On the SS Hudson, many passengers are seasick, like Frida. Pearl squeezes sideways between tables, casually skims stray peas and carrot knobs from abandoned bowls of soup, scrounges a section of orange, a scrap of pinkish-brown herring. A willowy lady wearing a dusty pink hat watches her at work, out of pity or disgust. She's a sophisticated city type. Jews are so desperate to leave Europe these days, they'd cross the ocean in a bathtub. So Pearl sees many grand people like her, mixed with country folk in steerage. This lady has a long, lovely face, pale with a pointed chin, and shrewd gray-green eyes like a cat. Pearl noticed her when she came into the dining room on the arm of a young man who pulled out a chair for her. She stepped forward and sat, didn't even look behind her, confident the chair would be pushed in again, and it was. Pearl imagines what it would be like to have that kind of confidence, to sit into air and know that a seat would appear below you. And that hat, it fires up her imagination. If Pearl could afford to wear a fancy pink hat like that, she could walk down the street with such a cold, blank stare that no one would dare bother her. She's known plenty of women who aren't strictly beautiful, but in the right hat or dress, they're magnificent. Their clothes teach the world to treat them with dignity. The pink lady notices Pearl staring, gives her an inquisitive look, and Pearl, who feels a puzzling itch to capture this exquisite woman's attention, surprises herself by nervously extending a roll and asking, "Maybe you want half?" In response, she averts her eyes. "It's all right," says Pearl, fearing she's committed a blunder, but unable to stop herself. "You can have the whole thing if you want." "I'm afraid I'm not very hungry." Looking as if she's smelled something rotten, the woman rises and leaves the table, followed by her male companion. Pearl returns meekly to her seat. What was she thinking, speaking out that way? "This food's awful," she tells her sister. "If they let me in the kitchen, I could do better." "I heard you," says Frida. "The way you talk, it's embarrassing." "What did you hear?" Pearl suspects her sister's right, but doesn't like to admit it. She lacks her sister's talent, if you can call it that, for small talk. Frida grabs a roll and shoves it rudely at Pearl's chest. "Go on, have it. That's not how someone with manners speaks. Didn't you see that expensive dress she had on? Didn't you hear her pretty accent? Imagine what she thinks of us." The back of Pearl's neck prickles with shame. "I've gotten it wrong again," she thinks. But what if the pink lady wasn't offended? Just jealous? Because Pearl was brazen enough to do whatever she felt like. If that lady wasn't so polite, she'd pick up scraps too. Polite people don't survive in this world. "We're from plenty good stock," says Pearl. "Father's from Lithuania." "Where we're going, they've probably never heard of Lithuania," says Frida, pushing back her chair. "I can't sit here anymore. My stomach's not at all well." "I'd better come with you," says Pearl. Clinging to the shaky, narrow railings, the two sisters descend 3 flights of metal stairs into the ship's belly. Day or night makes no difference in the enormous room where they sleep, 3 times the size of a synagogue, crammed with endless rows of iron berths stacked with lean mattresses. Kerosene lamps put up a feeble fight against the darkness. Pearl and Frida have claimed 2 narrow beds by the wall. They take turns holding up a blanket while changing their clothes. Not everyone is so delicate, and Pearl's eye occasionally catches the white curve of a stranger's breast or rump. Once, Frida wasn't paying attention to the blanket and exposed Pearl's body. "Raise it higher, higher," Pearl hissed, imagining everyone staring at her fleshy, hairy arms, her dark